Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction, summer 2018 preview reaction of episode 1 of Middle Manager Tonegawa. So this is the first summer 2018 preview reaction we're doing, and if you don't know what that is, let me explain real quick. So for each season of anime, this started last season and it's going to continue on. I'm going to preview a bunch of shows, a bunch of new anime that are coming out. And basically it's going to be like this. I'm going to preview them, I'm going to check them out with one episode. And after that I will determine whether or not I think they would be good to react to and whether or not I want to continue reacting to them. And if I do, then we do. But as with anything, they can be dropped at any time if I feel like they might end up not being reaction worthy in the future, or if I just end up not liking them as much as the first episode might have made me believe, which has happened before. So yeah, this is the first one of the set, and we're going to get started in it for this season's anime. So what is Middle Manager Tonegawa? Well, this is a spin-off series of the popular high-stakes gambling drama Kaiji Ultimate Survivor. I watched Kaiji Ultimate Survivor both seasons last year. I believe it was either 2016 or last year when I saw it for the first time. Either way, it was extremely fascinating to me. It was so well done. It was an excellent drama with great characters, great high stakes. The games that they played for the gambling were always really interesting and unique and exciting. And it really just had this like nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat quality to it that I really loved. And now we have the spin-off. So Middle Manager Tonegawa focuses on a specific character from the original Kaiji series, Tonegawa. Tonegawa, he kind of like was the middle manager. He was the kind of guy who set up all the games, but he still had his boss Hyodo above him. Now, I don't know exactly what this series is going to be about. I don't know if it takes place during the same timeline as the original series, or if it's either before that or after that. I don't know. I don't know what the exact timeline to it all is. But I'm interested to find out. I'm interested to see if there's other characters from Kaiji who make an appearance. I'm sure Hyodo will. But otherwise, I don't really know. There's some other enemies, some other antagonists that might make an appearance. And then again, if this does take place during the same timeline, we might see like maybe a little scene or two from the original Kaiji. But otherwise, I don't know like any specifics about this show and what it's going to entail. But I'm really excited because, again, I loved the original Kaiji Ultimate Survivor anime, both seasons. And I'm really hoping that this continues to just have that same spirit of excitement, of drama, and of intensity that made me fall in love with the original. So we're going to get right into it. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. Also to note, at the end of this redirect, basically after I give all of my afterthoughts, I will tell you all whether or not I will be continuing it. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so this was our first episode of Middle Manager Tonegawa, the spinoff to Kaiji Ultimate Survivor. Yeah, this was great. Like, it was exactly what I wanted it to be. A proper spin-off of Kaiji. It kept the same kind of art and animation style, which honestly was the most expected. But it also kept the style of the series. As I mentioned during the reaction, there were those little moments where it like had those audio cues and it showed like the little things on the screen. There were the moments where it showed the metaphor, where like he was giving the metaphors, like the snake coiling around the neck, and you saw it. It like showed it and everything. That stuff was key to the first Kaiji series and why it made it so good. It just gave it this like understandable sense of dread to it, to everything that happened to Kaiji and the other characters in the Ultimate Survivor series. It like kind of made you understand a little more what was going on. Not that you couldn't otherwise, but it helped like show how big of the stakes were, how intense everything was. It just helped make it more so, you know? It you could kind of say it was extra, and it was, but it was a good kind of extra. It helped. It wouldn't have hurt without it, but it helped with it. Now, this episode didn't have too much actual content to talk about, because there was that bit at the beginning, which was just a recap of the original Kaiji series. And then this episode, like the actual episode content, was basically just kicking things off. It was just introducing us to the characters and really just trying to start things, to try and bring us to what we're going to be expecting with this series. So we have Tonegawa, the middle manager of the Tei group. Basically, he's the only one directly under the president of the Tei group, Hyodo. And he answers to no one except Hyodo. So he basically is in charge. He gets to choose what to do with his current goal and whatnot. He gets to choose how to handle his jobs, how to handle those under him, unless it contradicts what Hyodo says. He has to obey Hyodo's like rules. But as long as he does that, he's in full control. So right now, he's actually taking a project for Hyodo, in which he has to design a death game. Now, it wasn't fully clear whether or not this is the first death game the Hyodo group has done, or whether it's just the newest one. It wasn't made entirely clear. I'm kind of thinking it's the first, though. The way it was worded and everything kind of made it feel to me like it was the first time they're doing something like this. So I'm really interested, if that is the case, to see exactly what the first one is. I doubt the first one is the cruise. I doubt the first one's the restricted rock, paper, scissors on the cruise. But it might be, for all I know. This episode also shows that this series is going to be a little more comedy-based than the original. Now, Kaiji Ultimate Survivor definitely had some comedy to it, of course. But most of the series was definitely more dramatic and intense. This one seems to be more focused on, at least for the first episode, more focused on the comedy aspect of how this is going to go, with Tonegawa trying to just handle being a middle manager. Because the big scene in this one, I mean, outside of him getting his orders from Hyodo and all, was him like running the meeting and trying to remember everyone's names. And that entire scene was pretty much straight comedy. Just him trying to remember the names, the intensity of that all. The snake metaphor was fantastic. Just the way... Because the snake metaphor, usually in the original Kaiji, that kind of thing would be saved for something extremely dramatic or intense. A part where Kaiji is having, like, extreme troubles or is, like, in a really bad situation in the current death game he's a part of. But here it's being used to show that Tonegawa is just struggling remembering names, and that's hilarious. It's really well done. The fact that all of these guys under him, their hobby is bowling, that's awesome. That's hilarious. And again, like I said during the reaction, I like bowling. I don't bowl very often, but I do like bowling. So it's like, I understand that a lot of people will like bowling, but to have every single one of them have their hobby be bowling, that's just hilarious to me. And then some of their names are very similar, especially, I guess, in Japanese with the way they're written and everything. That's different than here in America. I know that names and everything, and the way names sound, the way names are said, the way they... the specific characters to spell them and stuff, I know that's a bigger thing in Japan. And it's been talked about in other anime and whatnot as well. So it's like I don't fully understand it, but I get what they're going for, and I get how it would be a little more confusing than here in America. Like, here in America, if you had two guys, like, named Brian and Ryan, it's like, yes, their names are, like, so freaking similar. They have the exact same sound, except one just has a B at the beginning. But usually, at least from my experience, we're able to tell those kinds of people apart. It's like, we don't have to worry about, like, again, the way they're spelled, it's like one letter. It's one letter difference. It's not this huge, like, confusing deal. And with saying them, it's easier to remember because one does have that B sound at the beginning. Brian instead of Ryan. I don't know. For me, it's not, like, as super hard to remember names, but I don't know how that completely works in Japan. I know that names are very important there. I know that that's a much bigger deal. I don't know. It's just as an example. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. Like, really enjoyed this. This was, again, exactly what I wanted it to be. It kept the spirit of Kaiji alive with its style, its characters, its just story. But it also gives it a more comical feel that makes it a little more unique, I guess you could say, in its presentation and in its just overall tone. Now, I don't know if that comedy aspect is going to stay there the entire series. And even if it doesn't, this is looking to be a really good show already. So, this is one that I'm going to continue watching and reacting to for the moment. I do not know exactly, I don't know exactly how long I'll end up reacting to. I don't know if I'll react to the entire series or if I'll end up dropping it at some point. I do not know. Because as with any show I start, dropping is a possibility. But, for now at least, I will be reacting to it. So this series, this episode actually, I believe, came out yesterday. The 4th. Let me just check, because I actually have it written down. Yeah, this came out yesterday. So, this comes out apparently the same day as Steins Gate Zero. Or at least the same day I react to Steins Gate Zero. Because technically the dub for Steins Gate Zero, I think, comes out on Mondays. It's the original Japanese one that comes out on Wednesdays, I think. Either way, I should be able to handle this still. I should be able to handle it. So, for now, this is being added to our list of reactions. Again, anything can happen, but I'm excited. This is a as it airs show, though, too, so it's like one episode a week just automatically, so it'll be a little easier to keep track of, sort of like My Hero Academia. So yeah, tell me in the comments below what you thought of episode 1 of Middle Manager Tonegawa. Tell me what you thought of the original series, if you've seen it, and if you haven't, I don't think you actually need to in order to see this, because it gave a pretty good recap at the beginning of the original series, without giving away, like, all of the details, all of the important details. But also it seems, again, to focus more on as a prequel, at least for now. So I don't think you really need to know the original series to really understand what's going on here. It explains it pretty well, so at least that's what I'm getting from this first episode. But if you get a chance to see the original series, Kaiji Ultimate Survivor, do. Check it out. It's really good. It's pretty up there in all of the anime I've seen. But yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie Royal, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way.